Yeah, hi there, this is tuxocher.com again. Welcome on my video channel. In the first part of this article, or better say video, we looked at first impressions of the truly outstanding hardware of the UGreen DXP 4800 Plus. The hardware is really well chosen on this price segment, and for example, in the case of the DXP 4800 Plus, with its 10 gigabit connection, also offers sufficient reserves for future application. In today's video, however, we will be about things that are, let's say, no-goes, or that I didn't like when I'm testing the device and the software. Okay, I'm logged in here in a terminal on my MacBook Pro, and I'm logged in via SSH into the UGreen NAS. The first thing that is the main no-go in my opinion is that if you make a deep package, get selections, and search for the default mail transport agent in Debian Bookworm, which is postfix. You see here there is no postfix installed. So if you make it and install a cron job like I did here with the async job, you don't even get any information about this job, if it ended with an error, if it went okay, or so on and so forth. So that's really no-go. If you go back here in the web UI and you go here in user management, you see here that I can configure email addresses into the different users, but what's the sense of it if you don't have any chance to get an email about important things like a cron job or task ended with an error, or so on and so forth, and other things. So that's a really good no-go. The notification center, like here on the top, it's empty now. How will we get here? You see here, sync and backup gives me a warning. In this case, it tells me that connection failed because this server is not running at this time. But when you drive a backup and the backup returns with an error like non-sufficient permission to write files, or other errors, or the disk went full, or such things as that, you just get a notification here on the top that there is an error in the sync and backup app, but the main reason for it you don't get, and that would be nice if that could be repaired with the next software update, so you get at least a part of the log file which is generated, so makes error hunting a lot easier. Okay, let's go back to the terminal, and I'll list the writes on the directories. They're pretty wide open, at least to me, and the main file writes are also pretty wide open. If you do that, you get read, write, execute for every user and group, and even users which are not in the group, which is owner of the directory. Maybe that's a Samba thing, I don't know, but that should be fixed with the next update. The next issue with the directory and file writes is if you do a L spool cron and crontab. As you can see here, the directory is owned by root, and the subdirectories in this cases are owned by root or tuxocher, which is my admin user in this case, and the admin group. If you go to a regular system, like this one here, that's a regular Proxmox system, as you can see, the writes are pretty different. You see like that the owner of the directory is the group crontab. So if you're in that group, like a regular user, okay, I don't have any cron job defined here, but I could do as a regular user on the system, define a cron job to be executed as a different user. But here on the UGreen system, as you can see here, only root and Tuxoche can do that. A regular user, which I defined on the system too, has no chance to define his own cron jobs. Okay, I could modify the directory and file rights in this case, but nobody knows if that will last over the next update of the UGOS system. The next thing is updates in general. Since the underlying operating system is just a regular Debian bookworm distribution, you should be able to do like this one. And you see here that the upgrade operation is not allowed on this system. And here on the UGOS system, we are still on 6.1.27, which is a little bit behind. It might be okay right now, but especially for those users who will open up at least parts of the system to the internet, either via reverse proxy like Nginx Manager or so on, or VPN, WireGuard, Tunnel, and so on and so forth, you will have a pretty decent web interface, but the underlying system is probably unsecure. And then there's another thing. I show you here a website from UGreen saying that security updates for this system are only available 5 years after introducing those products to the market, which means that my UGreen DXP 4800, which was introduced, I think, March or April 2024, will have only security updates until somewhere in the 2029, and that is way too short for long-lasting server Linux distributions, which will get security updates for a longer period of time. But this may lead you into, at least after this time, to install, let's say, a TrueNAS or OpenMedia Vault or even Unraid on this system, because, as I mentioned before, the hardware is pretty good. As I mentioned in the first part, another issue or problem is the UGreen smartphone app. I understand that because of usability, the UGreen app is built such a way to automatically search the UGreen NAS within the same network. That's okay. Totally fine with that. But there should be an option to manually configure the access to the UGreen web UI, because that way you could utilize, like, let's say, for example, the SD card slot, so you can throw in a SD card and copy all the files on the SD card to a directory on the UGreen NAS without bothering a computer or turn on a computer. You could do that with the UGreen app from a smartphone or from a tablet. Okay, you can do update and restore here and make a configuration backup. That is only possible either in the cloud. If you're signed up for the UGreen cloud, it's too bad that is not valid for other cloud systems. And you could do a local backup, which downloads, like you see here, that before, a special file in a special format. I should assume for the configuration, in my opinion, would be better that either the configuration could be backupped to other cloud systems, like, let's say, for example, Nextcloud, or it could be saved. Let's take an archive file like zip or gzip, so you could look into the files and make a copy of all the files you need. As I mentioned in the first part, I chose here the BTRFS file system for this system, after occurring that there's no chance to either do or manage snapshots from the web UI. So you have to do that manually in the terminal session if you want to do snapshots and delete them and maybe copy them to other systems. And that is a thing that should be managed in the web UI, like other systems do that, like let's say, for example, Open Media Vault with snapshots in the ZFS file system. But then UGreen should have a decent task manager, like defining cron jobs within the web UI, but that doesn't all make sense if they don't install mail transport agents, so you get a notification about the result of the cron job. And then there is the backup and sync tool, as I mentioned before, the notification. You can do a backup or restore to another server, and I tried that out. It's probably using rsync to do that, but instead of using a regular rsync, though you have the regular files on the other server, they do a special file format, UGreen backup, where you have only the data files in there. So if you need to restore a directory which you back up via this app, you need to restore it with the UGreen operating system, which, yeah, to a certain degree doesn't make sense at all, because you find all the way rsync scripts which can do incremental backups, and if you want, in missing a file or accidentally deleted a file, you can copy them back with regular apps like CP. And another thing is that if you, for example, have a directory which you back up with this tool, add a file, modify the file for the next backup, delete this file for the next backup, and you, let's say, for example, you accidentally delete it. If you don't know when you delete it, you sort of have bad luck, because first of all, this tool only can restore complete directories, not even a single file. And if you don't know the exact date when you deleted the file or the last time this file was in the backup, you keep searching. And that is pretty annoying, because for every backup you touch, the backup is first of all verified, and that takes a pretty long time. So you can see that in some areas, in my opinion, the web interface and the underlying Linux system have artificially limited the system. It's particularly worth mentioning that there is no longer any email notification which could be used for notification of other programs. That is especially true if you go on the terminal via SSH and maybe set up yourself rsync scripts and so on. It would be nice if those cron jobs would have a notification via email too. That would be standard behavior in Linux system, and don't know why UGreen cut this offer off. Regarding the criticism, because of the security updates, because according to their website, they are only provided for the period of 5 years after the market launch of the system. We have to wait and see if UGreen will stick to this rule, or maybe provide even at least security updates for a longer time, because right now you can pre-order the new IDX models, which are concerned to be even more powerful than the regular UGreen NAS system. In addition of these, let's say, no-goes or points of criticism, there are some certain wishes which I have, or somebody else could have, to request perhaps to be considered in the next updates to come. In my opinion, this includes a ZFS file system, because that would make identical to my system in Open Media Vault, and would make things a lot easier between those two systems. For other users, it might also be important to be able to set up the system for specific areas or even a complete volume in general with iSCSI. Let's not forget to the option for smaller business or office works that at least parts of them could be encrypted in the future. So that were the no-goes, criticism and wishes for the UGreen NAS systems and the UGOS operating system on top of Linux Debian Bookworm. If you have any questions to this, you might as well place them in the comments of this video or in the comment section of the corresponding blog post. And if this video was helpful, you might consider placing a like on the video. And even more important for the channel would be that you subscribe my channel, but then don't forget to hit the bell so you got a notification every time I upload a new video. Okay, that was my review on the UGreen NAS system, and all I have to say is till the next time, ciao, tux oche.